personally, I'm just happy to play League of Legends, and I got the chance to play it professionally, to be in a team, to play in one of the best teams in Europe as well. So I'm really grateful to have this opportunity, and like the least I can do is just give my best no matter what, because I wanna be, you know, some kind of an example for some people or the next generation, etc. I wanna be like remembered as someone sooner or later, and I'm just trying to do my best every day, to give all I have, to make sure that first of all, everyone who gave me this opportunity, like, I'm grateful for them, and I just want, you know, to give back their trust they gave me. I just want to prove, first of all, a bit of my career, I would say, is on the line. Personally, I want to be a top player that's one of the best in Europe. So what does that mean? I need to go towards, right? And I don't want to think about what I would do if I lose, but all I want to do is just win. I will just think about winning, and I will just give everything I have with the team, and I'm sure we'll just win in the end, because that's what BDS do, you know. We will win, I don't know, but we'll win.
Indeed, and on the brink and so very close, as he shows us 2, 3, maybe? Who knows? Of booking a ticket to Korea, at least for the World's Qualifying Series and top 4 in the LEC. And for all of BDS, that would be monumental, but I think let's start with Adon and just what we saw there. What an arc this guy has been going through since we met him back in the Fnatic days, now here.
I think it's an amazing story, honestly, and he was talking about the fact that he wants to be remembered as a role model and someone that's going to inspire people, and I think that's what he's doing right now, because from KC to being in Fnatic, the disaster that was Worlds that year, going back to ERL, BDS last year, which didn't work at all, to, as he said, playing for one of the best teams we have in Europe right now. That's just an amazing comeback story. And seeing him at Worlds, again, if he makes it after the qualifier, would be just an amazing story.
Would be crazy, and there's a lot of players that would stay down once they get knocked down, but he didn't. He's back here with BDS, and you say it there, BDS, kind of what they went through in the public eye as well, because last year, nobody really cared. At the beginning of this year, nobody cared either, and now they have turned everything around.
And I feel like it's the thing, right? Because last year went so wrong that I feel like no one had expectations when it comes to this lineup this year, and I appreciate the fact that the structure itself kept on trusting the same players, as we see here, because they kept Nuke. They just played around the elements they had in the academy, building a whole project around keeping Adon and trusting these players, and I feel like that's what they need. And Adon, as we saw, needs to be put in the right conditions. He needs this anger, he needs this fear, and I feel like playing an elimination series as they're playing today is actually what's fueling them even more.
Yes, it seems like it, and we can't forget that when you look across that roster, you have Sheo, for me, who is like the most pure in that he hasn't had to be knocked down, he is taking this chance, but all around him are pieces that are looking for redemption, Crownie not in the very least.
Yeah, and it's actually amazing to think that Crownie never made Worlds. It would be his first opportunity to make Worlds, and again, for me, BDS is the statement of if you put the right players next to each other and they empowers each other, that's the recipe for success, and for me, that's what kept BDS going, especially after failing in spring finals against Mad Lions. The way this lineup came back is really impressive. I love this story.
It is. It was a story about a high peak and then not finding that peak again, and the hope is that they can now. But of course, SK aren't out of it yet, but it are BDS that are one win away when booking their flights to Korea. So let's head into Champion Select for Game 3.
Thank you very much, Sjokz and Laure. We're going to jump into Champion Select. Game 3, everything on the line for both these teams. If you lose this series, you are in for a very long holiday. And I know for sure none of the players on the stage want to be taking a break quite yet. SK Gaming now on the blue side will have to find a way to bounce back to a reverse sweep this series. Of course, the last time BDS were in a series that would qualify them for an international was back in the spring finals. They went 2-0 up against Mad Lions and then ended up losing that to a reverse sweep. Can SK do that to them once again? Tristana, Darius, and Rakan banned away. LeBlanc, Jax already taken away by BDS.
Well, the good news for SK is they're all laughing and smiling and having a good time, so they're cracking jokes, and they obviously realize it's a very tough situation to be in, but can only really keep the spirits high at this point, because you've got one more game left on paper. If you can win this, you're always on match points, and as contention of being knocked out, there's the Rel ban. Is it going to be Zeri again?
Surprising, no? Like, do they want a first pick?
We haven't seen Aatrox really at all through the LEC Season Finals.
Well, I don't think they'd first pick it if they were going to play it. I'm just surprised that they consider Darius such a massive threat. It suggests that they are thinking about a blind Renekton once again. They will secure themselves the Xayah. We've seen Ezreal, Zeri, and now will be a different AD carry once more for Exakick. Maybe this will be enough to give them a little bit more agency to play through the bot side of the map. Maybe they're thinking of something like Renekton Maokai, Renekton Sejunai, maybe even a Renekton Nautilus in their first half rotation.
I'd be a bit scared of Olaf on 3 if I was SK. They haven't really covered it off. They haven't in the other games either. It's not been picked up. But actually, it looks like Adam's going to go for the Renekton himself, and they're going to take away the Zeri. Interestingly, they didn't take the Maokai with the Zeri. Maybe they wanted to deny the Renekton, but this just means that they can get Maokai here, SK, if they want. And that's obviously a good lockdown champion to have up against the Zeri.
I think the Maokai does make a lot of sense here, Caedrel. Totally agree with you. Markoon is pondering. Obviously, he can be thinking about the rest of the draft here as well. And he will likely go towards his jungle. Instead, Ornn for Irrelevant in the top lane.
Do they lock in support now, or do they lock in their jungle is the question.
I think it has to be jungle, right? You lock in Maokai, BDS then look for Sejunai, something else in the jungle, and then you just move supports to second rotation.
Yeah, I think Maokai makes most sense here. Maokai ult, Ornn ult, it's a lot of space you can create for the Xayah. Unless they have some other plan going on here with Azir or something, or Nico, or Nautilus.
Okay, good
just
call,
so
Betty.
smart.
Yeah, you are.
I feel like that gives, Zeri Braum just feels like Braum into Ornn Nautilus sounds like such a free pick. So that's a little bit confusing. At least the Maokai would make it so they have to pick jungle and you could drop support and target it out. But anyway, they've got a lot of lockdown for the Zeri now with the Nautilus ult. It's just a case of, this Braum pick's going to do so much work already.
Maybe the game plan is, hey, we look the best in the early game when Markoon gets to do stuff. I, as Markoon, can't do stuff if the jungle champ pool is Maokai, Sejunai, Ivan. So let's narrow that pool down so that we can get into, like, the other champions, maybe something like a Jarvan or a Viego, or just something that gives you a little bit more skirmish.
Problem is there's 3 open. There's Maokai, Sejunai, Ivan. They have 2 bends. So
yeah, no, I mean, I get you. I'm just hypothetically thinking about.
He'll always get 1 on 4.
Well, there's 1 gone.
Yeah, and they can take away Maokai as well. Maybe they're going to play like force him on Sejunai, play some kind of Trundle game into it. Maybe this Nautilus is like a flex to jungle or something, and they're going to pick like Lulu Xayah.
Ooh, that's a good call. I like that.
The only reason I think that is because Sertuss was laughing when they picked Nautilus. So I wonder if it is just some kind of crazy flex they've got going on, but I heavily doubt it. I mean, Azir for BDS would be another easy scaling option, but I like the adaptation with the Ornn, I will say, because as much as Adam's sacrificing his lane to group, now it becomes a lot easier for Relevant to do that as well.
So they're expecting a Maokai here, and I think it would make sense for BDS if they wanted to fight. I mean, sorry, when I'm thinking about team fights, because right now their engage is not the strongest. Braum and Renekton, not the best tools at actually starting a fight.
Sejunai is the other option, right? Because you can always block the Maokai ultimate with the Unbreakable from the Braum. Everyone just stands behind. There's the Sej. SK could look towards something like a Poppy, Lilia as well.
Need an AD mid if you're doing that, though. I feel like if they're playing triple AP topside, it's not the best for Lilia.
What AD mid has Sertuss brought out? None. Played the Tristana 3 times, obviously, but she's been banned away by SK. Apart from that, every champion he's brought out in summer.
It's both stressfully playing with their hair. It's a pro player classic.
Akali blind. Wow, okay, so SK going back to comfort here. They're saying Sertuss, pick something that you're feeling good on. It's one of his favorite champions.
Is it Trundle? All feels a bit tough. Maybe Maokai is just to play, but yeah, I think something like a Trundle would be nice, or some kind of AD jungler. Jarvan wouldn't be the best into Zeri, but still.
I think it might be something like a Viego or a Lee, you know.
Vi.
Okay,
Yeah,
Vi.
makes sense. Vi, Nautilus into Zeri. I mean,
Okay.
Vi into Braum Sejunai is really annoying, but still, Merc treads galore.
I really think that Markoon just wanted to have something that he can have more agency on.
Is
That's the
Silas-
impression that I'm getting.
I think Silas is... Oh, it's the new
it's
Cassio.
Nuke. Yeah, it's
of course.
Cassio. He's really going to limit your mobility with his miasma. Going to have a very comfortable laning phase into the Akali. And he's going to be dealing a lot of damage later into the game. Again, BDS's engage is not the strongest. They do have a Sejunai ultimate. But their scaling is incredibly strong. Being first to an objective and forcing SK to walk into you, You're not going to have a fun time against Braum, Renekton, Cassio. Face checking this comp is going to be very scary, and something that SK have not done a good job of is getting first onto these objectives. They have been BDS dominated when it comes to dragons more specifically, so we'll see if SK can change that in this game 3.
The main thing I like about this draft from SK is the damage share though. Like the Merc Treads value, the early game value they'll get up against like Sejunai, Cassio, Braum. You'll have so much like item value, so I feel like you definitely have tools to fight back quite heavily. Obviously, if they get to 4 or 5 items on Cassio Zeri, that's a nightmare. You know, when they have things like the Leanderies and the Void Staff and things like this, the Bloodthirster, it's going to be a nightmare in playing things like the front to back. But they have a lot of disruption. I really like the level 6s. I really think they need to start forcing some fights around these objectives. Herald fights should be something that they need to look at.
One game could decide the fates of both these teams. If SK lose, they are out of competitive League of Legends for the next 4 or 5 months. BDS could be going to an international competition for the first time in their careers. Let's see as Game 3 comes up next. On to Summoner's Rift we jump. Some comfort here from SK. We've seen Markoon on the buy so many times. Sertuss 8-1 on Akali this year. Not the easiest composition for them to pilot, as Sheo can jump across the wall here. Arctic Assault into Labrov with the concussive blows will not be good for DOS. But he is able to wrangle his way away as now BDS step forth. And DOS controlled the Tribush for long enough to allow them knowledge that this invade was coming.
So the pings have come through. How will Markoon respond? Naturally, moving into the enemy jungle and getting some vision down is going to be paramount. Of course, this should be expected by BDS.
Yeah, if this is a full split map, it's going to be very difficult for Exakick and DOS in that bottom lane. Braum already very good into the Nautilus, just because if Nautilus ever hooks in, you Q him, you put the Unbreakable up, no damage gets to your AD carry, and then the Nautilus is stunned for an absolute year. But it looks like the split map will not materialize. Sheo will be spotted on this ward as he walks around, and SK will have vision of the enemy jungler.
Well, the adaptation from last game. Caedrel highlighted it very early on that Adam was just being a nuisance, delaying Markoon's start. This time, though, Irrelevant was there to cover, zoned Adam away, and that means that Markoon's clear. It should be right as rain. Ooh, Sertuss deciding to go for Conqueror. Typically, especially into range matchups, at the pro level, you'll see fleet footwork. Helps you with, well, sustain and not getting absolutely poked and murdered in the laning phase. The problem, or I guess I should say one of the advantages that you have as an Akali into this matchup is until you get tier, it's very easy to run out of mana early on. So until that first base, you're not too concerned. But then when the tier does come through, that's when the lane really starts to become a lot harder for the Akali to play. I'm sorry, he already has tier. Like when it starts getting stacked, she starts having mana. You know what I meant?
No,
but she has more mana.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, Nuke's at the early push into the Akali, of course, going to be a bit weak until he got those 3 spells. And can start to trade a bit back. DOS going to go for the hook. Crownie should be able to proc the passive. No, doesn't get it.
The burst fire counts as the auto attacks for the Zeri, so even though he was able to land a right-click auto attack, it didn't proc the concussive blows.
So
but that's the difficulty for the Nautilus.
Yeah, early lane push in favor of in BDS. Markoon's going to have a ward on his red. Smartly placed. We'll see Sheo having done 3 camps into his red buff, and it's a bit difficult to collapse on him. Maybe if he goes right around to the right side of his buff and goes for the engage, you can try and catch him off guard, but BDS have the bot push, so could just be a case of trying to steal it away.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be.
Adam, it's just...
Hang on, Adam.
He wants that plate. He wants that demolish
Got
proc.
the demolish proc. Will heal with a bit of cold and meat.
Flash,
Irrelevant. Could look for the brittle here. Yeah, has to flash away.
Yeah.
Adam is so greedy, isn't he?
He really traded his
All
flash.
for a demolish proc.
Yeah. He really wanted that play.
There's still a fight going on around this red buff. As they kind of both know where each other is, but Sheo's wrapped around to surprise Markoon, so now Markoon doesn't know that he's actually there anymore.
And now Markoon will back away because the bot lane of BDS is moving up. Markoon immediately flashes. Sheo dashes across with the blast cone and should be able to secure this. You can see DOS trying to get the first move from the bot lane.
He wants to fight this Markoon, but he's going to have to play for the steal. Sheo is going to try and reset it, and he's out. So he loses his flash, gets his red.
Okay, fair. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Akali not the strongest early levels, Exakick and DOS being pushed underneath their tower. BDS played that very well, but not quite able to find that that red buff. Still though, top crab should be up for the taking as Sheo secures the bot one. Markoon does of course have this level advantage because so much time was spent from Sheo trying to steal away this red. Let's see if Markoon can do anything with this advantage.
Yeah,
no flash top lane.
He has a cookie as well, irrelevant.
Oh,
so
Adams, is he looking for the demolish again? He's going to get knocked up.
I think he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. He's got no E. He's got no flash. He's got nowhere to go as Irrelevant flashes forward for the brittle proc. And across the wall comes Markoon. And that alligator's going to be boots pretty soon. First blood to SK.
So good use. Well, I think it's better to say the big mistake overall from Adam, losing that early flash into hard pushing your top side while Markoon secures the crab. Means that first blood is given over to SK. Irrelevant still has the TP, so he can return to top, and this wave is now in a fantastic position for Irrelevant. Adam is going to be forced to overextend as this wave continues to push towards the Ornn's tower.
Only good news for Adam is that Irrelevant did burn his flash, so a little bit harder to stick on top of that Renekton, but we'll see if Sheo decides to spend a little bit of time up towards this top lane. Right now he's resetting. His camps on the bottom side will be the ones respawning, but obviously those respawn time is a lot later. Only the Gromp up for him right now, whereas Markoon could cycle through his wolves.
Oh, he's going for it again. He's going to wrap around the pit and then queue over.
Man, there's so much wrapping. It's like Christmas.
Ornn 6 is coming through here. Just one more minion. He's going to level up, and that's the play, I think. He's going to have to kill a minion.
Riddle kills the minion. Where are you going to go, Adam? Markoon's on the chase. The knockback. The Call of the Forge got enough, and SK playing through Irrelevant worked so well for them in the past. Miasma down, but Sertuss able to dodge away from it. Steps forward, dashes back, and escapes the clutches of BDS.
Nice play there from Sertuss. So, only 6 minutes into the game. Dragon's still up, BDS. Maybe looking for something on this bot side, but it looks like SK can push out that wave pretty easily. And this Sejunai Braum Zeri is not actually finding any 3v3s because Markoon's just forcing on this top side of the map. So SK playing the nice quote-unquote weak side on this bot lane and needs to wait for that Vi 6 to really start being able to contest, I feel like. So early Drakes might go in the favor of BDS, but they haven't started it up just yet. SK with that push, looking to chunk out Crownie.
I will say, we've seen, well, Adam on Fnatic, we've seen Adam on BDS, and in series, something that I've seen multiple times is, hey guys, we're down, what should we do? Want to camp Adam?
Yep.
Sure, let's camp Adam. And it's a method that has worked many times in the past. He's a player that does like to play very aggressively in lane, and he's already made a couple of fumbles as Sheo looks for a gank in bot.
Exakick has the cleanse here. Exhaust down. They're looking for the concussive blows. Cleanses that away, but then stunned with the permafrost. DOS able to dash away with the dredge line, and SK escape the clutches of BDS.
Yeah, he went Berserker Greaves first item, so he doesn't need to flash. He can just outrun it with the cleanse away from the stuns. Markoon can maybe look for something here. Doesn't have the flash for the Q flash, but Sheo's hanging around. Needs to be careful though. Markoon without that flash means he'll get chain CC'd up, and the bot lane push comes in for BDS. Level 6 on the Zeri, maybe a Dragon Force on the cards with that Akali base timer.
It gets them what they want though, right? Which is this early Dragon. By forcing Exakick and DOS back, release some summoners out, they have this advantage that they're going to look to immediately start off. And they're going to push out this bot wave.
Markoon's going to get 6 on the wave here, though, so they're pushing out bot to get 6 on the Vi.
Yeah, this is good for Markoon.
And Sertuss is running straight there. I don't think they're in time, though. Nice try.
You're right. It was a good idea. Fortunately, the timing was a little bit off. 5 seconds until Markoon's flash is up. They will lose the crab as well. 10 seconds now on the Herald. You imagine that this will be the objective that SK look to play for next.
Yeah, they'll all run out towards the top side, you have to imagine, and BDS are going to be a bit greedy and push out this next bot wave, so they'll be late to that top side fight. But I think the 3v3 is in SK's favor. They might just need DOS to hover around a little bit while Exakick plays that solo lane bot. So they're going to 4-man this top side, ward over the wall from Adam, because he's preemptively expecting that play to come through. And I don't know if BDS will respond. I mean, they have the level 6 on the Sejunai, but the Braum is going to be a bit late. No 6s on either support just yet. Startup's going to come in from Markoon as he pinks it, but no, he's going to back away for the time being.
Crownie slides his way down towards this bottom lane, playing his signature Zeri. 16 times this year he's brought it out, 11 and 5. Very comfortable on the champion. Obviously, she was in a slightly different position in the meta at the start of the year than she is now, but still something that Crownie's very comfortable with at least.
It was often a champion that many teams really couldn't afford to give him because of his proficiency on it. Ultimate.
Glacial Prison goes down. There's the miasma to follow up as well, but Sertuss has time to get away. Couldn't quite layer the CCs well enough there. Sertuss was facing the wrong way for the Petrifying Gaze as well, so they couldn't get that stun down. Markoon will be able to secure the Rift Herald while Sertuss continues to absorb pressure in the mid lane.
Yeah, avoids death once more, and he's doing a really good job at keeping even in terms of farm. I mean, it is one of his comforts for a reason. You imagine he's played this matchup multiple times, and he's doing a fantastic job in this early game. 1,000 is still the goal difference in favor of SK as Crownie secures a plate. But overall, that top side of the map is still heavily in favor of SK.
Feels tricky for SK to play through bot, so I wonder if there's some kind of discussion of a TP situation in the next 30 seconds for Irrelevant on the bot side, because he's so much stronger than Adam. Him TPing in versus the Renekton when Exakick cleanses up. I think like some kind of 4v4 on the bot side with a top lane TP would work really nicely to break open this bot side of the map with Herald as well. There's no point doing anything towards the top side, and the Cassiopeia is going to have perma push in mid. The problem is SK don't have any wards right now. Actually, they just got one on DOS. I wonder if they're going to use it. No, just in river. So they have that one ward to play for the TP, but still just going to push in waves for now.
Yeah, I know what side I'm taking of the Sunfire Cape God of the Forge versus Little Sickle Crocodile. Yep. I know what side I'm taking of that matchup.
Oh, he's ulting it.
God of the Forge God comes down. Adam flashes away preemptively. And
well, that makes that TP play even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, no ultimate for Irrelevant, but even still.
He could even stay for another wave here, Irrelevant, if he wants to.
Are they swapping to top? Ooh. It looks like that they're actually saying...
they have the Rift Herald as well,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Looks like they're trying to make a tempo play. Get back out onto the map sooner. The reset first, already making their way towards top. Irrelevant can now go kind of tank bot solo with the Sunfire completed. He has more than enough armor to weather the pressure. He's not worried about a dive, but it seems BDS have kind of read this. Crownie and Labrov are already making their way mid. Adam is already being sent to bot. But it's that Herald, I think, is going to make the big difference. That should funnel enough gold into Exakick.
That makes sense why Irrelevant left the wave for Exakick. He could stack up 2 and then just try to crash it. Play with a Herald, maybe get some platings, but it's SK trying to stop BDS from getting through this small choke here into the top side. DOS trying to maybe look for a hook onto Sheo, but Braum's on the way, Cassio's on the way. The TP wards are there, you can see them both. DOS has placed both those TP wards. They need the Ornn ult. Adam can match, yes, but forcing on this top side would be a good idea for SK. No flash on the Akali, but the Vi ult is everything with the Nautilus ult onto the Zeri.
Yeah, it's a little trickier though, because you can't really stack the waves into a static Shiv. It just clears them out too easily, and that's exactly what Crownie did. DOS here is going to be locked up. Concussive blows. Permafrost first. Concussive blows second. There's the cease and desist. Exhaust immediately onto Markoon as he's locked up in the middle of 3 members of BDS. And Markoon is left to his own devices. He's flashed into the wall. A face plant to end all face plants there, as BDS are able to get on the board for their first kill of the game.
Adam also cancelled the Relevance TP, so they've lost that advantage of a global as well. It's a 1-for-1, but it's definitely BDS favored. Should be able to hold on to his top side. No threat of a Herald because jungle's down. These wards don't really matter because the TP's gone. So yeah, SK had some tools to work with and not the best outcome.
Adam continues to trade with Irrelevant on the losing side of this battle over and over, but just trying to get that coal stacked up. 10 away from having it complete.
Let's look back at the play here. So it's kind of DOS that starts off by getting caught. He, of course, naturally throws the hook out onto Labrov, but the combined front line of Sheo and Labrov is more than enough. Nice response here from Markoon. A quick ultimate from Sheo locks him in place to provide a little bit of space. The Feather's doing some serious work, but if the TP gets interrupted on the bot side, it means that they're forced into this 3v3, and it ends up being a 1-for-1.
Where did Irrelevant TP from? Did he TP from like almost near the tower? It looked like on the minimap he was basically in vision of where Adam was, so there's the Herald. They're going to drop it mid instead. These swaps haven't been going so well. I think the gold's not even going to go to the Xayah, so it's just going to go straight to the Vi. It has the Sunder now. You need things like the Merc Treads as SK mid-jungle in these kind of scenarios if you want to fight this next dragon, but they don't have them yet. So the ultimates being up soon for BDS means, again, the 3v3s and the 4v4s, it's just so easy to just lock down the Nautilus. The Nautilus really struggles to play against these two champions, the Sejunai Braum.
You can see Sertuss matching Adam up towards the top lane because Adam has TP, Irrelevant does not, so Sertuss is the one that has to deal with him, pushing in that side lane. The collapse begins as Sertuss starts his back. Smite goes down, there's Adam with the TP first. Irrelevant going forward, Glacial Fissure has been used. Irrelevant's going to get locked up, and Adam on the front line is being exactly the same. He tries to slice and dice his way away, but Sertuss comes in just in time to get a consolation prize for SK.
The coordination is completely off here for SK. The TP comes through. You can clearly see that people are trying to disengage, and then Irrelevant flashes in. Fern engaged. Sertuss' TP is incredibly delayed, which means that SK, they're not even starting the fight from a good position, and BDS immediately take advantage of it. They'll get themselves the dragon, they'll get themselves another plate for Crownie, and they're already quickly closing that gold gap.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a replay of it, but it's just lack of patience, maybe rushing things from SK. You saw, yeah, like you said, Irrelevant was flashing in. Not only was Sertuss not TPing yet, but there was no one there. I mean, it's just Markoon next to him that can really follow up, because what happens is SK's bot lane has to run away because there's a TP on top of them. Irrelevant's in the thick of it, next to Markoon. Sertuss hasn't even arrived yet before Irrelevant's already dead, and as much as they get Adam, luckily with the Hextech protocol at the end, it's just, if you have the Akali there and the Xayah can walk up and play aggressive with her ult, the fight just looks a lot different.
Part of the difference was Adam didn't finish his recall. They both recalled in the top lane, yeah.
Cancelled his base.
Adam cancelled his base, teleported in immediately. Sertuss went back, bought the rocket belt, and then TP'd into the fight. It's the second time we've seen SK waiting on an item and just being a little bit late to those dragon fights.
It's also just this coordination. Their dragon setups have been pretty bad all series long. They're always second to the objective. And it feels like that they're using that window that they need to set up and contest BDS to just kind of spend that gold, and they're just not being proactive enough. And BDS really have just gotten the better of them, specifically around these dragons.
Yeah, so Irrelevant's grouping for this Herald. He wants to be there before the fight starts, but he might be just going to have to TP bot perhaps, or are they just going to give a bot tower for this? It looks like it. So first blood tower over to the Cassio for this Herald. Similar sort of situation to game 1 with the Azir, where they just let nuke side lane and scale up. No threat of any kind of dive, but yeah, Irrelevant looks like he wants to hold on to that for now. The wave's quite small though, so it looks like maybe Nuke, will he get it on this wave? He's just going to commit.
He should still be able to get it.
No, he's not.
He can get it first though, still.
Yeah, still should get it.
Not going to be put down yet by SK, who do still have, you know, at the moment, about an 800 gold lead. Going to be pulled back a little bit here as BDS actually even us out entirely. So 2 objectives to the good for BDS in terms of dragons. 2 Rift Heralds have been picked up by SK, but yet to translate that into actually raising a tower. Overall, the momentum does feel a little bit in BDS's favor, not only in this game, but obviously in the series. 2-0 so far. 1 game away from at least 4th seed from Europe. 1 game away as well from facing Fnatic and XL for a spot in Montpellier in a couple of weeks' time.
And what I will say, SK, I mean, in a way, they took a lot of gambles on a lot of these players. At the beginning of the year, there were a lot of people that people had no knowledge of. Exakick new to the scene. Sertuss. Was this really a player that you wanted to build a roster around? Markoon, obviously tried and true, but like a lot of promising pieces, but people were skeptical about their potential. The fact that they've made it this year, they've had overall a pretty incredible year to debut for a lot of these players, and expectations are that they have still bright futures ahead of them, regardless of whether or not they're able to turn this one around. But huge credit to SK and what they've been able to do. I'm excited to see what they can continue to do next year, whether they stick with these players and give them more time, or if they choose to go with a different direction.
And it was a similar story for BDS. It's like, do you really want to build a team around Nuke? You know, do you want to take Adam from Fnatic? Do you want to take Labrov from Vitality, take Crownie, and then slot in this rookie jungler of Sheo, and it's worked. You know, they almost won a finals, they almost went to MSI, and now they're on the precipice of going to a Worlds qualifying match at the very least as well.
I mean, a huge redemption arc for Labrov, right? A lot of fan sentiment and just sentiment in general was that he wasn't that strong when he played for Vitality. And seeing him with a different AD carry in a different environment has really showcased what he's capable of. Both these teams right now fighting for an opportunity to compete at international competition, whether it be against North America for that 4th seed, or whether it be for one of the higher seeds that Europe has to offer, still up for grabs.
And this is the game that really decides it all. I'm looking at the Cassiopeia items, getting close. That Rod of Ages finishing, the Seraphs is finished, Crownie's getting close to Navori.
It's a lot of mana, it's a lot of damage.
SK need to start fighting. They need to fight this dragon 30 seconds on the spawn. But again, their setups throughout the whole series have been a bit lackluster around the dragon. It's going to try and force something onto Labrov.
That's the Unbreakable. Labrov able to dash away.
He tanks so much damage there.
Just absorbs all those projectiles. Does mean he's a little bit chunked out. Irrelevant looks for Crownie, can't quite land the knockup. Vipto now put down in the mid lane by SK as they realize the time is ticking. 15 seconds on that Cloud Dragon. Adam continues to push in top, does have the TP. Irrelevant pushing forward. Diving. There's the cease and desist as they try and get onto Nuke. Petrifying Gaze has been used as well, and Nuke is in a bouncy castle of hell. He's locked up, and he's somehow surviving. The call of the Fortune coming out as well with Crownie, Adam, and Sheo still alive. A 2-for-1 so far in favor of SK. They'll turn their eyes towards the dragon, but no jungler left alive.
I mean, the engagement is a bit scuffed, but they somehow make it work. As you rightly said though, Medic, no jungler available means that this dragon start is very difficult.
Crownie just jumps in.
I think he thought he could get a kill onto DOS. Was not expecting all these SK members surrounding
He
him.
also didn't have vision in the rush, right?
Oh, Sertuss doesn't have ults. Irrelevant needs to TP back. The dragon fight's still going. Sertuss needs to base and TP in. There comes the Ornn TP. Xakick trying to get the mid-wave in. 10,000 HP on this dragon, and DOS doesn't have the ult either, so it's just a hook that you have to rely on. Crownie no flash. There's the TP behind. Here comes Nuke as well. It's round 2 on the cards, but a lot of ultimates missing for SK.
For both teams, in fact, no ultimates for BDS either. It's a pure out fist fight, an all-right brawl here in the river. Adam locked up for a second, gets the damage down onto DOS, and Nuke's already killed off Irrelevant. There's the dragon as well. It's down to about 3,000 HP, 1-for-1. Both the top laners have fallen. And with it, SK's hopes, it seems, of stealing away this dragon. BDS secure it, their third. Exakick pushing forward to the mid lane. The collapse perhaps from DOS as Sheo gets hooked up. The dredge line will find its mark, and Sheo will fall.
SK now coming alive a little bit. They lost the objective, but they're getting kills on key members here. The Xayah and the Akali finding their ways into the fight. The mid-engage, I actually liked it a lot. They got the tower with the Herald. They instantly got on top of Nuke, and even with flash up, he was chain CC'd and he died. It's either the Cassio or the Zeri. You have to commit ults to one of them, and one of them has to die for you to be able to keep the long fight going. Because if you don't get that initial kill, you use those ultimates and no one dies. That's it. They're just going to murder you in the front to back, and this is it. Irrelevant's trying to buy time. There's nothing he can really do, and you can see Sertuss without the ults just trying to do damage onto Adam. Exakick here though, ults towards the Dragon Pit and then pulls them back onto the top support of BDS. That gets him that first kill.
Labrov is able to get away with his life just barely. But also that engage in the mid lane, it was just... Nuke, he didn't die immediately, so he was still able to get his ultimate out. He was still able to do a lot of damage as well.
Labrov hooked up. Unbreakable goes down. Sertuss now dashing forward. Sheo looking for the flank as DOS is locked with the Glacial Prison. And DOS will get a death charge off with the lightning crash. They jump onto Crownie. The Flipfire engage finds a two-man stun, and Crownie has the time to survive, to dive away, but in the end he dies. Sertuss dashing away 8-1 in 2023 on the champ, but BDS don't give a damn. They'll shut him out of the fight and turn their eyes towards the Baron.
Yeah, that's a Baron. I mean, they catch DOS in the river. SK think they see a window for a fight, but the miasma from Nuke was so impactful because it bought a lot of time. Sertuss couldn't really execute anyone on the back line. He landed, I think it was a two-man ultimate, rooting them in place. And this bought BDS enough space to turn their fight in their favor. This will be the Baron, and that could very well be the series being secured for BDS. They're going to wait for Crownie to come back. Smite secured, all 5 members have the buff.
Yeah, DOS getting caught. He can't really move against Sejunai Braum. Zeri's free hitting. And then the engage comes in from Markoon and Sertuss, because I think Sertuss lands a E onto Crownie and is probably calling to just go in here. Nautilus ult E. Markoon gets the ult off, but then it's the Cassio ult. Stuns both of them, I think. If not just the Akali. Markoon dies instantly. Ornn arrives a little bit too late. Xkick can't really do anything. They're just way too far away.
It's such, they should have, I say they should have, but it's, in this situation, you understand why they do that, but BDS, they have a tendency to overgroup, right? So every time you try to force a fight, you always have to be prepared to fight all 5 of them, and Adam's positioning completely zoned Irrelevant out of the fight. Exakick saw no clear angle in, and Markoon and Sertuss, sure, they're great at diving in together, but once they're in and that miasma's down, it becomes really hard to really do anything else. BDS, they play it well. They now have a 1k gold lead, and they're looking to 3-0 this series.
Even though there's only 1,500 gold between the two teams, this Baron buff will accelerate that for BDS. They've already taken a tier 1 in the top lane. Next up, tier 1 in the mid. They continue just to take this standing gold off the map, and SK can only stand and watch as their waves are pushed in. The World's qualifying series in the eyes of both these teams, but BDS can almost taste it. Glacial Fissure used onto Sertuss. Lightning Crash coming down as well. They can't quite find the stun on him, but they'll force him out of the fight. And now BDS know they have a man advantage as they group as 5 in mid to look for the tier 2.
TP flanks are going to come in from Sertuss as TP's about to spawn. They have wards behind.
And Sheo can just go in. There's the TP flank, but already they've locked up Irrelevant. He's down to half HP. The miasma down as well as Sertuss is isolated towards the top of the fight. SK can look for a re-engage. Call of the Forge got a possibility. Cease and desist available as well. 4 seconds on the flash as Markoon dives in, and the dash from Sertuss as well. Markoon already down to competitive engage with lock up Sertuss as he dashes and dances and prances his way through the fight. 2 for 2 so far. The Call of the Forge got for the re-engage. Next still alive. Crownie unable to step far enough forward as SK strike back.
50 seconds on the Dragon. They've won a fight. Finally, SK, they got 3 for 2. It took a lot of dive and a lot of balls from Markoon to go into 5 members from BDS, but they can't translate it into anything. They got a couple shutdowns. Exakick's getting towards his 3rd item. Top waves are pushing out. They're still both side lane tier 1s up. And there's no Dragon just yet, so this is going to be very similar to the 3rd Dragon, where everyone's going to come out of base, and there's going to be a round 2 in the next 30 to 40 seconds. But it's the TP that comes in from Sertuss. Adam marks him off instantly and makes sure he can't join the fight, but it's just irrelevant holding the ult for so long. I wonder if he's just waiting for the Braum shield to be used, because as much as the spectator says he doesn't have it, he definitely does. Holds out for so long, and then it's Markoon eventually says, you know what, we're going in. Q flash past everyone onto the Cassiopeia, allows Sertuss to get some space, get stunned up, yes, but then it's Exakick and irrelevant. Finally, the Ornn comes in to finish off Nuke, lands onto Crownie, who's low on mana, and Adam, no way to go, really just has to go forwards.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Sertuss, considering how low he ended up getting in that fight. He was able to do a lot of work, and you can see it on the damage at the bottom of your screen.
They're dropping it.
SK, they've chosen to abandon the Dragon. They're saying that the Cloud Soul, they don't care. You can have it. If they can get to the Elder Flip, that may very well be their best option of coming back into this game. Of course, the Baron will be available before that, but they'll take the tower for now. And they're going to wait for more items to be completed.
Level 16 on the Cassiopeia. Shield bow ready for the Zeri. Double stopwatch on both the carries against Xayah, Akali. It's going to be
scaled, Caedrel.
It's going to be even harder the next time SK decide to pull the trigger. And that's a Cloud Soul Zeri as well, so she'll be quite quick.
Zooming. It's a difficult battle that SK will have to go through, but like, this is BDS tried and true. This is their formula. Scale to late game and team fight. It's up to SK to find a way to disrupt this play pattern and bring us to game 4. Tension mounts. SK season could very well end with the next fight. Baron in 2 minutes' time.
Yes, BDS gain control of the top side. Tier 2 remain in bot and top for them as Sheo steps forward. Markoon going onto Sheo. The hook lands onto Labrov, but Sheo so tanky as Sertuss tries to dive onto the backline. He's already down to half HP. SK know their lives are on the line here as they find one. A good Penetrating gaze onto Sertuss, but he has time to pop the stopwatch, and that means he does not go pop. He flashes away from the extendo beam from Crownie, and BDS have to retreat. The hook just wide. Nuke trying to retreat, trying to survive as Markoon goes forward once again. The recall out from Adam. He doesn't have TP to join back in with this fight. Crownie, Sheo, and Nuke are left alone, and SK will allow them to survive.
They used so much there, SK. They only got 1 kill onto the Braum. Exakick flashed into the wall. If he could get over the pit, he could have maybe tried to snipe out the Cassiopeia. Still, again, 1 minute till the Baron. What can you translate these kills into? Nothing. They're just trying to take fights because they realize they're against
they're
the
doing
clock.
well in the fights, to be fair. They are finding these angles. I think that was a good opportunity. The BDS collapse was quick, but the fact that SK still got a kill, as you rightly said, though, a lot of flashes were used there. I think the best news for SK is Crownie's got no sums.
Yeah.
Markoon's ultimate is going to be up very soon. 10 seconds on the timer. Flash going to be up as well. Likely for the next fight, but the Baron in 35.
Importantly, though, Crownie and Nuke do have their stopwatches. No stopwatch on Exakick. Sertuss used his in that last fight. So if they are locked up, if they're stunned, if they have any BDS members doing damage to them, it's going to be very hard for them to extricate themselves from that situation. Nuke spotted on that ward as he walks across. The Baron up in 17 seconds time. Now 10 seconds between SK and perhaps Irrelevance in this season. 10 seconds between them and a 5-month holiday. They have to win this fight, you feel, if they're going to have any hope of getting back in this series.
BDS melt the Baron, Zeri, Cassiopeia. SK have no vision yet. They have double blue orb ready. They got a face check though, Irrelevant.
Exakick takes damage as well.
Has TP, but he's not chunked enough to merit a TP back here. Just trying to hold their vision line is BDS. Hook's not going to land onto Adam. Markoon looking for an angle over the wall. He's on vision, going to sweep it out. Relevance trying to tank the brunt of this just so they can get vision. Level 15 comes through, he can upgrade another member.
According to our overlay, Sheo has a sweeper. I find it surprising he hasn't used it to sweep the bush next to the pixel bush. They keep getting spotted on that vision. It gives SK a lot of information as Crownie steps a little bit too far forward. Irrelevant has to flash away though, and Crownie is behind the shield. The Unbreakable, the exhaust onto Sertuss. Crownie takes down one. Sertuss trying to dash and dive and do everything he can, and he manages to get the shutdown. Now it's all on Nuke, but he's rooted and taken out of the fight. SK find exactly the fight they needed.
And they will not go quietly into the night, will they? SK can get a Baron off of this. Both carries are down. What is Crownie doing? Walking up to an Ornn, just getting knocked up straight away. Doesn't have flash. Has the stopwatch still, building towards a Guardian Angel. That should negate a lot of the dive in the next fight, but Sheo has to smite. No flash, gonna have to cure over the wall here. SK zoning him away, and SK now coming to life.
Labrov did everything that he could to keep his AD carry alive. The exhaust was good onto Sertuss, but the dive was just too strong. SK are back in this game, securing the Baron, and we look back at the replay.
And they're making magic happen, aren't they? Exakick's just dealing both Crownie and Nuke's damage combined on this backline, just leveraging so much up against the Renekton Sejunai, actually pushing them back, and Sertuss on the dive gets exhausted. Really nice Ornn ult lands onto 4. Nuke's trying to get involved in the fight. Ult locks onto the Ornn, but it's the Ornn W that stops it. Sertuss and Markoon get the Zeri down, the Q onto the Cassio. Exakick. Man on fire right now next to these divers of the mid-jungle.
Yeah, I was honestly really concerned for SK. I thought that was going to be it. Labrov had tanked so much damage, but then the rest of the dive came in from SK. And Exakick on the backline left completely untouched, 0 threat. When SK got to decide the fight, he is completely unleashed. Level 16 for him, working towards his 4th item.
And now it's SK that get the time
to
take down these towers. They are 2,000 gold ahead, will extend to 3 as they look for this tier 2. Adam's going to answer it though with a tier 2 of his own, pushing in that top lane.
Can play on 2 lanes though, can't they, SK? They can move into mid now if they want to get that mid tier 2, but it looks like bases are the call. Do they have Guardian Angel on the Xayah? Do they have Guardian Angel on the Vi? Yes, they do. Double GA activated. Crownie has his too. We're getting to the hyper late game stages now as full builds are almost there. Elder Dragon is spawning soon in around a minute's time, and so it's all going to be an Elder fight, really, isn't it?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
30-minute Elder fight.
Yeah, and it's SK's Dragon setup that has just been lacking. They need to make sure they get set up around this Dragon. If they're face-checking into the Sejunai Braum as Nautilus, you really need vision on the carries before you pull these triggers.
One of the big advantages SK are going to have is this priority. Look at how easily they push this mid-wave in. I think they could afford to send someone bot. Sertuss, just go and catch that wave, keep the pressure up so that you can continue to pressure this vision. Can we see what BDS see observers? How much access? Very little, so this is exactly the optimal setup that SK want. They want to make sure that they can contest these choke points, but you can see now, like Adam getting access to that bot wave means that they will have another way in. SK conceding a lot of space already, and look at that, BDS immediately into the river.
Crownie has flash up, Nuke's flash coming up as well. Sertuss off to the side, trying to look for an angle. Labrov's trying to mark that flank, he's going to ping him out here. So Adam's going to go over the wall, try and zone away this Akali. Dragon pulled out, it's going to reset.
Adam keeping Sertuss at bay. Single fight.
He's trying to force the Akali ult, he's trying to make it so he can tank it.
Adam going into it. Sertuss, he still has the GA. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the fight, Sheo's down to half HP, but he'll heal up a little bit. Sertuss at 400 as Crownie flashes and takes the kill, and now it's a 4v5. The hook doesn't quite connect because Nuke pops the stopwatch. Sheo going in, Exakick, playing to every Guardian Angel he can find. Gabriel, Azrael, do whatever you can to keep Exakick alive, but Crownie takes them out, and the Guardian Angels are more like a devil on their shoulders as SK are locked out of the fight, and BDS will march towards victory.
BDS do it once more. They outperform SK in the fight, and they only lose the jungler. They're going to secure the Herald. They're going to put themselves in such a powerful position, and SK can do nothing but watch as the Elder Dragon favors BDS today.
What a fight from Exakick, trying his best. Sertuss wasn't in the fight. Crownie used his flash to get that kill. And as much as he tried, Exakick, he failed. The damage is just way too much from the Cassio and the Zeri. We'll take a look at it again as Sertuss was the man of the hour for a few seconds, but Adam actually wins the 1v1 against him. He actually killed the Akali, basically, because Sertuss had to run. And then it's Crownie who kind of dashes over the wall and gets there. I'm surprised Crownie even got there in the first place. You can see Exakick trying to help out his mid laner, considering it. I think he just skirts over this wall, perhaps, and then just makes sure that he gets there in time. And that Akali being down, that's half the dive gone.
Yeah, and then Markoon flashes in a great stopwatch from Nuke. And then an awkward positioning here from Exakick, but he's able to get away to safety. A really good feather pullback. The Braum ultimate into the exhaust, though, and then Crownie sees his window. Gets that initial kill.
Was grounded as well.
Yeah.
Go back on the call of the Forge God.
So minuscule as well. Exakick cleansed thinking he was going to get stunned, but there was nothing. Then he gets exhausted half a second afterwards. If he could have cleansed that exhaust, maybe he could have pumped out enough damage to get the Braum down. But I think they had too much damage already there. BDS, sorry. But it's 1 minute 30 on this Elder.
But really, really, so much credit needs to be given to Adam. Removing Sertuss from the fight completely was so valuable.
Only player on the team that's been to Worlds before. Trying to help pull his team to that Worlds qualifying match at least. And that's the 4th seed for the LEC. And it's moments. Moments between BDS and a spot in our Final Four. Moments between SK and a long break.
You know, I think SK is going to get another shot, though.
Yeah.
This Elder, as you can see at the top of your screen, 55 seconds. SK doing a good job of clearing out waves. Stoss needs to be careful here.
Unless Sheo goes for some kind of QR flash, I don't think they can engage. The wave clears too much from SK. They don't even have to use things like the Ornn to clear it out, so...
Well, the good news for BDS is the Baron now in 30 seconds. They can use this Dragon to just zone SK out, deny them all a vision, and then you can have the Cassio and the Sejunai basically duo that objective, while the rest of BDS just keep SK away from it.
You can see BDS just pushing in all 3 lanes. Adam pushes in bot, doesn't even try to take the tier 2. Bases immediately TP's top to make sure that that wave is crashing in as well. Baron up in 12 seconds time, as you say, Vedi. It feels like we've had a lot of action for only 34 minutes in this game. All of BDS will turn their eyes towards the Baron. Will SK take the fight? This Baron is going to melt.
Yeah, this Baron's going to die in like 5-6 seconds maybe. Probably 4 seconds, so it's gone. 3, 2, 1, and SK are here.
Irrelevant going in though, Markoon can't find the engaged glacial prison being used on Irrelevant, and already he's down to 3rd HP. Gargoyles will shield him up, but will it be enough? He goes unstoppable, he gets healed as well. Cease and desist on the backline, but Irrelevant's already down, and now Doss up towards the top of the fight, can't get anywhere. Sertuss locked up as well by Labrov, and Nuke the Miasma comes down, and Sertuss tries to dip his way away, but only he and Exakick are left standing for SK.
Desperation for SK. They tried to force the fight and they just fall apart. BDS with the Baron are looking for the Nexus, they're looking for the 3-0, and they're looking for that international spot.
A spot in our Final Four beckons BDS. SK have done everything they can to hold them at bay, but it seems like it's not enough for today as Sertuss steps in and is put into the dirt. Exakick will feather storm, but the only storm brewing is one for BDS. The Nexus falls, and BDS will be going international.
Really good series from BDS. They had a lot of answers to a lot of the things that SK tried to throw at them, and they stuck true to their name, which is the double scaling mid AD, very mid to late game heavy team, good dragon control. I think those are the 2 biggest strengths they had this series.
Oh yeah.
And I can see how happy they all are having made it to that international now in Korea.
Of course, they are guaranteed they're guaranteed
at least 4th
seed, which means that they will get to play against Gorgons. Of course, they can still go further than that.
Yep.
They will be playing up against the winner of XL and Fnatic for an opportunity to secure that top 3 spot. Go to Montpellier. Congratulations to BDS. They will secure top 4 in the LEC.
Huge win for them. Have to remember back to just a couple of months ago when they were challenging for a title here in LEC back in spring. Then summer was a disappointment for them generally. Didn't make it past the group stage. And now the fact that they will be representing Europe some way internationally after getting reverse sweep in that swept, that's the word, in that spring final, I'm sure will give them a lot of heart. Your player of the series votes at LEC on X are Nuke, Crownie, and Labrov. Yeah, everyone played really well. I think Nuke had really good Azir games, played really well on the Cassio as well. Bob had a really good performance.
I mean, he joins an elite group of players to win a professional game on Xerath, so...
Never played it before in his competitive career as well before that game.
Ooh, it's impressive.
How many people have won on Xerath in Europe, actually? That's a... like ever?
No one, I think.
Ever.
Ever. Well, no, sometimes in Europe he's too tanky, so the Xerath can't get the kills.
Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. There have been 34 players in Europe that have played at mid.
One of them must have won.
Yeah.
Nuke apparently has won.
Are we going to go through the list since
Don't
like
go through the
season
list.
2?
Is this PoE?
We're not going through the list.
It says Pi. His name is...
You have to figure out who that is afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll work it out.
congratulations to
Pepinero,
BDS.
maybe? The Pepinero player?
Very convincing series from them. As we mentioned, they will be going up next week against the winner of XL versus Fnatic, which will be tomorrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, a rematch from the summer semifinals where, I mean, it was XL that managed to win out 3-1 in very convincing fashion. We'll see if it's a repeat of history tomorrow, but yeah, we're still getting ready for an interview, and it seems that we are ready. So without further ado, let's head over to Laure.
We are indeed. Thank you very much, guys. And Crownie, Adam, thank you for joining me. Congrats on advancing to the next round. You guys are getting one step closer to getting to Montpellier, but definitely to foot in Korea already, as you will have a chance to play for the Worlds qualifier at the worst if you guys don't make it further. But first things first, when it comes to today's series, Adam, did it play to the expectations you had coming in today?
I would say overall we were pretty confident when we came up into this best of 5 because we knew that we're actually better in like kind of every aspect of the game compared to SK. So,
I mean, yeah.
bro, I mean, no, but it's just like what I'm trying to say is like we knew what we were capable of,
All right.
and everything that we've been working on, like we just managed to put it off like during those games, and I think we just showed up pretty clean games, except the last one for me.
Yeah.
But it's fine, yeah.
We'll touch on that a bit later, as I want to talk to you about Renekton. But Crownie, when I've talked to Swiffer, SK's coach, ahead of the series, he was telling me about the understanding that there is around BDS and your importance within the team and the fact that you have to be ahead to be one of the key factors in BDS's success. What did you think about SK's prep today and what made yours better, as Adam was saying?
I mean, I think that was a bit more true in spring. I think now in summer, pretty much all of my teammates can, like the meta changed, but I think everyone is playing so well, so pretty much everyone can carry, and it's not only about the AD carry like it was in spring. And other than that, I think the prep was pretty bad. I mean, I think we also didn't show Xayah prior before, so it kind of surprised them. And then it just felt like we were always one step ahead in draft, so it was kind of easy to play, since we always got what we wanted and we always kind of predicted what they will do. So it didn't feel too hard.
You mentioned the Xayah. I actually want to follow up on the Ezreal, which was an answer to the champion. We know that it's a pick that can do well, especially against Xayah. We saw this matchup in other regions. Do you think we're going to see more Ezreal, as Xayah looks to be one of the best AD carries we have right now?
Yeah, I think the AD carry meta is pretty open right now. I think Xayah is probably like the strongest, but other than that, you can play Zeri, Xayah, Ezreal, like some niche counter picks as well. So Nyla and stuff like that. So I think the meta is pretty fun right now, yeah.
All right, well, let's stay a bit focused on the meta, but on the other side of the map, you were mentioning your last game, Adam. Even though it was not the best, you're still the first player in the LEC who made Renekton successful in Season Finals, grabbing the first win.
Thank you.
And it's the most played top laner right now, and it feels like you have to blind top lane, which is also why maybe Renekton is the best champion you can blind top lane with. Why didn't they find success before you, and how do you rate the champion and its priority?
I would say if you take a look at how the meta is right now, you can see a lot of Xayah, Azir is like high prio in most of the regions as well. Like usually Renekton has a hard time playing into those champs, but in the top lane you need to find a champ, right? And Renekton will just bring you everything you need kind of in a draft, even though like the champion gets less strong during the game. But it kind of make your early at least stable. You know you will get a lead from top, no matter what, because the champion is just strong. That's just what he does, right? And but it's kind of understandable that he doesn't find success because he's actually pretty useless against a team that have a lot of range, for example. And I would say that the meta is pretty long-ranged, so you just need to play Renekton. You say, okay, guys, I will be useless at 25, 30 minutes. I hope you carry me. I will give you a strong advantage till then, but then it's all you.
So set up the team in the early game and just bet on them to do the dirty work in the later stages of the game. I want to keep on focusing on the meta, but through one of the plays you had during the series. And let's take a look at the MasterCard play of the week here, because it was the 1v1 between you and Exakick, playing Xayah against Zeri. We started seeing a lot more Zeri, but Xayah is falling off a bit, it feels, with this patch. What do you think of the priority of the champion? And tell me about this play.
Yeah, I think she got nerfed slightly, which made her a bit slower than before, and people just kind of realized that you can play a lot of different champs into it, and I think she's still viable, a bit slower than before. Like you kind of become very strong at 3 items, while Zeri and Xayah kind of abuse the Kraken Navori spike, so they're very strong on 2. So I think if you get fed as Xayah and you can get 3 items fast, you'll be very strong. And as for the 1v1, I think he probably just felt strong because he had Shiv, but I'm in the middle of a wave, and he's isolated by my Q, and I have lethal tempo, and my ult is also an auto-attack reset, so he kind of has no way to win.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play from you. So let's take a step back, though, from the series. I think we've talked enough about this. Crownie, I have a hard time believing that you never made Worlds, given how long you've been playing within the league. This is the first shot that you're going to get, actually. You know that you're going to get to Korea. Worst case. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it feels great. I think the only other year where I felt like it is close was 2021, where we ended up losing like 2-3 to Fnatic. But this year, I feel like it's been a great year so far. I think we were all confident we're going to make it. And yeah, I mean, I'm just happy it worked out.
Mentioning Fnatic, the first time you made Worlds was actually with Fnatic, Adam. What is your resolution if you make Worlds this time? What are you looking to prove?
You know, if I can play Worlds, you know, I'm just happy already, so I'm not asking much.
Right.
If I just get to play Worlds, you know, any Asian top laners will be happy, not asking much.
I hope you can bring your special picks against them
and
and just show them how we do this in the LEC. To make it there, though, you're going to have to face the winner of tomorrow's series, Excel Fnatic. Give me your predictions behind this one. Crownie first.
I would say, if looking at the form of the past months, I would say Fnatic. I think Excel lost a bit of momentum after finals, which happens to a lot of teams, and you probably start doubting yourself a bit. But I could see it being a close series, so I would just say Fnatic should have a maybe small advantage.
Adam, do you agree on this?
I would probably say like kind of 3-1 Excel.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like Fnatic, I would say it can depends on their mood of the day. It can go like 3-0 for them, as they can get like a swept 3-0 as well. So I'm not quite sure. They're pretty like volatile team. You don't really know what they will do, so I will just take a look at what they do tomorrow. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting one and hard to predict for sure. Guys, thank you so much for the interview and congrats again on taking down SK. And that was all for us here tonight in the LEC. We are minutes away from the Valorant Champions Finals, where Evil Geniuses will take on Paper Rex. Opening ceremony starts in just a few minutes at 9 p.m. CEST at ValorantEsports.com/watch. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 CST to say goodbye to SK Gaming as they close this year and conclude the round one of the lower bracket with Excel versus Fnatic. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
But you know, when I woke up today, I thought it's actually a win-win situation. Either we go to Worlds or I don't have to feel King DOS anymore in the morning. I will be so happy.
Adam will get the Rift Herald in exchange for his support. Alive, a good knockback though with the Emperor's Divine means there's a 1-for-1 trade so far.
I think we can do it.
We do it. No, cut towards
together.
Nice, we keep this mini.
Kill guy, look. Play in the pit.
Come in the pit.
Together. We can win.
Yeah, we win.
Markoon going to try and dive bot here. See if they can pull this off. This is important.
They just hit level 3, that can actually be huge here. Cozy Campfire goes down, good double knocker from Labrov. Markoon flashing forward, the DOS goes down first. It's an absolute bloodbath, and not in the way that SK were hoping.
Look you, hang on a second, Exakick.
He's ghosting. Watching the stream somewhere else perhaps as he tries to trade in. Dashing away, Crownie going in with a killer instinct. Exakick, you took a fight you just can't win. As Crownie comes out on top.
No, I just going to.
I mean, Renekton.
It's good for us.
Look.
They're stuck.
They're stuck. Look Zeri.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm pushing it.
Oh,
insane.
Yes, I think we can get the fuck out.
Okay, I block around.
No flash.
Play with me. Oh, no.
Block it.
And takes the kill, and now it's a 4v5. The hook doesn't quite connect because Nuke pops the stopwatch. Sheo going in, Exakick, bring to every Guardian Angel he can find. Gabriel, Azrael, do whatever you can to keep Exakick alive. But Crownie takes him out, and the Guardian Angels are more like a devil on their shoulders as SK are locked out of the fight, and BDS will march towards victory.